Hey everybody, Math Day 91 with Grandma. Our next poem to help us learn about multiplication. 3 sum. When we spell sum S-U-M, it means answer. Not S-O-M-E as like I want some. 3 is as easy as can be if you triple what you see. In other words, just add it thrice. This is simply one more than twice. What is 3 times 3? It's 3 doubled plus 3. Double first. 3 plus 3 is 6. Then add 3 equals 9. What's 3 times 9? Well, double the 9. 9 plus 9 is 18. Plus 9 more is 27. Challenge. What's 3 times 15? Well, 3 times 5 is 15. And 3 times 10 is 30. And 30 plus 15 is 45. Circumference and the off-the-charts dessert. Charts and Graphs by Cindy Neuschwander, illustrated by Wayne Geehan. "Oh dear," muttered Lady Di of Amateur as she rushed down the castle corridor. She ran headlong into her husband's circumference. "What's the hurry?" he asked her. "The castle cook is in bed with the chills," she answered, "and the harvest fair is just around the corner. We need to select the annual harvest sweet." "We'll need someone to do the baking, too," said Circumference. "The cook mentioned 2 bakers in town who might help," Lady Di said. "One is a woman named Pia from the French city of Chartres, and the other is a man called Bart Grafe, whose grandparents moved here years ago from Germany." "Excellent," said Circumference. "Let's invite them to the castle." Bart's cookies, Pia's pies. Later that day, Circumference and Lady Di sat in their banquet hall with the 2 bakers. Circumference said, his mouth full of quince pie. "Thank you, Circumference," said Pia, looking down her slender nose at Bart. Lady Di bit into one of Bart's cream cookies. "Heavenly," she declared. "Thank you, Lady Di," said Bart, lifting an eyebrow at Pia. Circumference and Lady Di tasted all the desserts, but could not decide which treat was the best. "Since the harvest fair is for everyone," said Circumference, "let's have the town folks choose." "Yes," agreed Lady Di, "a contest. Tomorrow, after free samples of your top 4 treats, the town folks shall vote for their favorite of the 8 selections." Bakers hurried back to their shops. Clouds of flour dust billowed out of the 2 bakeries as Pia and Bart worked furiously. Pia made quince, mustard, custard, and apple pies. "Ah," she said, smelling the delicious aroma, "the townsfolk will love these." Meanwhile, Bart was busy mixing and melding his doughs. He made cream, honey, ginger, and nut cookies. Wooden molds were scattered everywhere. "Something for everyone," he exclaimed, pulling the tasty treats out of the oven. The next morning, both bakers met in front of their shops to give away their sweets. "Free desserts!" called out Bart. "What's your number 1 delight?" "Get your free pastries here," Pia countered. "Tell me your top choice." At the end of the day, Lady Di approached the bakers eagerly and asked, "Do we have a winner?" "Well, I collected the votes in my head, but there were too many to remember." "Same for me," said Bart sadly. "Let's extend the contest 1 more day," said Lady Di kindly. The next day, Pia said to herself, "I'll make a short line and some flour dust by each kind of pie. Every time someone makes a choice, I'll tally up the marks at the end of the day." Bart also made a decision. "I'll line up my dough pinches by each of the 4 types of cookie molds to show each vote. After the day is over, I'll count them up." In this way, both bakers would track their votes and the most popular dessert could be determined. Do you see the one with more votes? The bakers greeted Circumference and Lady Di after the second day of the contest. "Well," said Circumference, "which treat is the winner?" Both bakers turned to their daily counts. Away, Bart yelled at his dog, who was gobbling down dough pinches. Today's choice is gone. With the slurp of a tongue, he grumbled. Meanwhile, Pia discovered her cat tiptoeing over her flowery table. Shoo! Today's result's gone with a flick of a tail. Oh, we need a decision soon, said Lady Di. Since tomorrow night is our son Radius's birthday party, please report your results the morning after next. Both bakers gratefully agreed to the plan. Free samples, Pia called energetically the next day. What's your favorite? People voted for their top dessert. Each chose a pie. Pia placed small sweetmeats, one for each vote, around the edge of a large dough round. She used yellow candies for custard, red for quince, green for apple, and brown for mince. These are much better than my flowery marks because they can't be brushed away. Bart was equally busy. If you select one of my cookies as your favorite treat, hand me a matching cookie mold. And he began to stack up towers of wooden blocks as the townspeople passed molds to him. Oh ho, cried Bolt to himself. Cookie molds are much better for counting than dough scraps. My dog won't eat them. It was late evening by the time Pia and Bart moved their votes inside their bakeries. After such a busy day, both were glad they had until next morning to report their results. Once inside, Pia quickly arranged the candies by color and scored her dough round into sections. Wonderful, she thought. There are 30 votes for custard pie, 15 for quince, 10 for apple, and 5 for mince. So, half of it there. Small group there, a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger. Cookie mold. Stacks. Ginger, honey, cream, nut. Meanwhile, Bart counted his mold. 30 for ginger, 22 for honey, 6 for cream, and 2 for nut. Ginger's my top cookie, he thought. I hope 30 votes is enough to win. That night, both bakers tossed and turned, unable to sleep despite their exhaustion. Same question, will my dessert be the winner? By midnight, Pia and Bart decided they needed to know the final results from the other baker. Pia tiptoed over to Bart's. She found the towers of wooden molds and counted them. 30 for ginger, she whispered. That's the same as my custard pie. Tempted, she reached for a ginger cookie and clatter clunk, the wooden molds tumbled to the floor. Meanwhile, Bart was inside Pia's bakery. He had counted all her candies. Oh no, the same number as my top treat. He was sampling one of Pia's custard pies when the loud dunk from his own shop startled him. Bart's elbow knocked down Pia's pie dough round, and Pia's pie smashed, and Bart's molds crashed, and the bakers dashed out into the street. Oomph! They ran straight into each other. Ah! They screamed. We're tired, stammered Bart. Neither of us will win, cried Pia. Bart tugged at his beard. We need a plan. All through the rest of the night, the two bakers worked. What do you suppose their plan might be? The next morning, they stood once again in Circumference at Lady Di's banquet hall. So, began Circumference, what are the results? Custard pie was my most popular, said Pia, and she showed Circumference and Lady Di's pictures she had drawn. She made a round circle like her pie and showed half the votes and 15 and 12 and 5. Bart then said ginger cookies were my most popular, and he showed them a picture he had made, stacks of his cookie mold. Bart's Grafe. So we have a tie. This is the most difficult thing, said Circumference. We need to choose the harvest sweet. That's why I present you with something new, answered Pia. It's called creme de la creme. It's off the charts, exclaimed Lady Di. It's spicy, sweet, crummy, and crumbly. Pia of Charles, you win, said Circumference. I cannot accept your offer, she said. Bart cleared his throat. We created this together, mixing the two favorite things, custard pie and ginger cookie. So 2 bakers are better than 1. Always, said Circumference, reaching for another tart. For many years after, the 2 bakers created new treats and made old favorites. They always drew pictures of pie dough circles and cookie mold stacks to remind them of what people liked best. In this way, they knew what and how much they should bake each day. Bert called Pia round drawings pie charts after her famous pie and her beloved city in France. And Pia named Bart's stack drawings Bart Grafes, like his name. Today we call them pie charts and bar graphs. Circumference and the off-the-chart desserts.